As a result of The Little Mermaid going woke, it is now going to be Disney's latest woke disaster, as it is expected to debut worse than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, this is according to Bounding Into Comics, a very reliable source. And as you can see here, The Little Mermaid expected to perform worse than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in its global opening weekend. Now, for all of you that don't remember, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was set to be the biggest movie to come out from the MCU since Endgame. Ultimately, that was a lie. It was a complete failure as it bombed in the box office due to it leaning a certain way, if you know what I mean. It chose to cater to the woke freaks. It chose to push a woke agenda, a very similar agenda that we see in The Little Mermaid, and I'm going to explain exactly what I mean in just a second, but let's continue with this story by Bounding Into Comics. The new report claims that the Walt Disney Company's upcoming live-action The Little Mermaid is expected to perform worse in the opening weekend compared to the recent box office bomb of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Variety reports The Little Mermaid is only expected to bring in $100 million in its opening weekend in domestic theaters and another $80 million in international markets for a global gross of only $180 million. The outlet does note that the film could bring in another $20 million to $25 million in the domestic box office on Monday, which happens to be Memorial Day. Lucky for them, huh? Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which lost money for the Walt Disney Company, brought in $104 million domestically in its opening weekend and another $121 million from international markets for a total global gross of $125 million. The latest animation live-action film from Walt Disney that released to domestic theaters was The Lion King. It had a domestic opening of $191 million. Variety reported the film had an international opening of $269 million. The film total gross opening was $460 million compared to what The Little Mermaid is projected to earn, is only $180 million. That is a very big difference. Now, it's very obvious why The Lion King was such a high success for Disney, because it's very hard, it's very difficult to push a woke agenda with fucking lions. Compared to what's going on with The Little Mermaid, for all of you who don't know, The Little Mermaid went woke. The Little Mermaid chose to change lyrics to songs for a modern audience, for modern sensitivities. Now, one of the biggest indicators that The Little Mermaid went woke is the drastic changes they made. As you all remember, it was Prince Eric that defeated Ursula in The Little Mermaid at the end of the movie. Well, now that's changed. Now, again, this is being reported by Bounding Into Comics. In the live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid, in a tie-in book, it reveals that Ursula is now defeated by Ariel instead of Prince Eric. Now, for those of you that are maybe too young or forgot, it was Prince Eric that hopped on board one of the ships, and he used that ship to pierce Ursula, thus defeating her in the climax of the movie. Now, it's Ariel that hops on board the ship and pierces Ursula and defeats her. Because now, according to Disney, according to Hollywood, men are incapable of getting the job done. Men are incompetent. It's part of the reason why Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was such a disaster for Disney. They made Ant-Man into a joke. Needed to be saved, told that he was an idiot, incapable of getting the job done. And we're going to see it with Indiana Jones 5 and the Dial of Destiny. It's going to be another disaster for Disney because this film also chose to make the star, the hero, Indiana Jones, into a joke, incapable of getting the job done. I've covered it here before, but Disney doesn't care. They don't care about making a good movie anymore. All Disney cares about is about pushing a woke agenda, about pushing progressive issues. Now you're going to want to subscribe to my channel because in a future video, I'm going to cover exactly why these big companies are choosing to lose money in order to push these woke issues, in order to push this woke agenda. Now, that video is probably going to shock you, but I feel that it is important to cover. So please subscribe and let me know down in the comments what you think about The Little Mermaid. Are you going to go watch it? But anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And like always, don't forget to subscribe. Sensational.